Podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
Every day I'm hustling.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just a body punching? When I was hitting him with body punching, I heard him, actually he was crying in there. You're saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on?
BoxingVoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time. Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
A-SIDIE Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ. It's the champ. Shannon the champ. With the fake champ. Vitaly Vladimir Klitschko.
BoxingVoice.com.
I'm gonna treat him like he's a C+ fighter. I'm gonna dominate, I'm gonna dog this fighter.
I'm talking about punishment. We're gonna punish you for 12 rounds. Either the referee says you had enough, or you can say you had enough, or you can stay your ass there all night until you ain't had enough.
I feel I'm the best in the sport, and to be the best, you got to beat the best. And all I did was beat opponents. I worked my way from the bottom to the top. I won a title by beating top competition and top fighters. This guy was handsome, paper champion.
Do you feel that you're the best super middleweight right now?
100%.
Let's go, champ. He can bring the pressure. He can box. I'm a true champion. I'm willing to go to his turf in Atlantic City. I'm going to step on him. I'm going to crush him. Y'all can mark my word to this. I'm going to crush him. He's a C+ fighter. I'm an A+ fighter. Come Saturday night next week, all the fans tune in because I'm going to dominate. This guy is flat-footed, swing wild. I'm not worried about...
What up? Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another spontaneous and breaking news edition. Live on First Take today, Max Kellerman reveals the big news everybody wanted to know. What happens to Deontay Wilder if Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua really go on to have their 2-fight deal and be undisputed? Well, it seems like Max Kellerman's let the cat out of the bag, and the two teams will be having to pay some sort of step-aside money to Deontay Wilder, according to Max Kellerman. Now, we'll get to that audio in just a bit, but I want to introduce my co-host, Moore's House, Dave Moore's House, and we got Enrique Church, casual fan, in the building. Gentlemen, what is up?
Yep. What is up? What is up, man? I heard the interview. Well, what do we call that? That's not an interview. That's a
excerpt,
an excerpt, a report, or something. What the question posed was: Is AJ and is Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury the biggest matchup in combat sport?
Mm-hmm.
And all the juice was spilled.
Yeah, it definitely was. Now, Moore's House, we had a show earlier this morning. This wasn't really a thing. You thought, hey, there is no arbitration, there is no legal matter, blah, blah, blah. Looks like Max Kellerman saying they're going to have to pay Deontay Wilder. And I'm going to play his audio in a bit, but I don't know. Did you get an opportunity to hear this First Take interview, or rather First Take segment? You sound very low over there, son.
We have not heard your
audio.
Voice.
Yeah, you sound.
Yeah.
I have not heard the segment. I just walked in the door from work, and I'm anxious to hear what he said because I didn't think that was the case. You know, I could be eating more crow, but
listen, they were talking about your guys at Asanya and a bunch of other UFC dudes that I don't know. So I'm going to just skip and fast forward to the juicy part, which is this part.
And I don't think that Deontay Wilder should have to wait. If Anthony Joshua beats Tyson Fury,
then let's see Joshua and Fury.
And Wilder.
Well, here's the thing.
And Wilder, though. I think that Wilder should get the winner.
Don't look too much at the contracts because, look, Deontay Wilder has to be getting paid to step aside. And when you get step-aside money, when you're next with a contract, it ain't $100,000. It's $5-10 million. You know.
Ooh. He said when you're next in line and you're getting step aside, It ain't $100,000. It's $5-10 million.
And he's talking from experience.
He's talking from experience.
Right.
And
Cotto got $7 million, or right? Cotto got $7 million for the Triple G fight to happen.
I don't know. You mean step aside?
Yeah, step aside. Wasn't that a thing?
I mean, I'm sure it was a thing. I'm sure
it was a conversation.
If Wilder's getting paid that much, that must be why he's also so quiet in the media lately. Maybe there's kind of some NDR going on. You know what I mean?
And you could assume that instantly because the contract is always a thing that Top Rank brings up, right? Bob Arum, he's always like, the contract, he's admitted to a contract. All right, well, he wanted that fight himself, Bob Arum, the dog father, and I'm assuming he's putting it together, and it costs additional money, right?
Yo, but Max works for ESPN. Max on Boxing is on ESPN. First Take is on ESPN.
Top Rank is on ESPN.
Exactly. So how could Max be giving us false information? Do you think he's assuming? The chat is saying, wait, it sounds like an assumption.
It was a delivered line like an assumption, though.
I have to admit, it did sound like it could be him assuming.
But like we always say, man, where there's smoke, there's fire.
He just threw that out there. He didn't have a source. He didn't hear it. He didn't say anything like source.
That. and Stephen A. Smith mentioned, right, that he has an interview with Deontay Wilder.
Well, he said he had a phone call that he's not going to bring up, but that he and Wilder talked about that.
Oh, it's not a recorded phone call, just a personal boys.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
when you're next with a contract, it ain't $100,000. It's $5-10 million.
Right.
You know, so Deontay's getting money just for waiting.
Could Deontay be getting money just for waiting? That
That's
don't
a natural.
sound. I mean, when I let the whole clip ring, it don't sound like an assumption anymore. I mean, he's very firm in his statement that Deontay's getting money just for waiting.
And exactly as boisterous and talkative as Wilder's always been, why would he just be silent now?
That's true.
After he was so pressing for the mediation.
And in terms of assumption, Max seems again very confident that it's not 100,000. That in fact it's $5 or $10 million is what they're going to be paid.
His words were, when you are put to wait on and you have a contract, it's not $100,000. It's $9-10 million. So that's the assumption part.
Get step aside money when you're next with a contract. It ain't $100,000. It's $5-10 million.
Right.
You know, so Deontay's getting money just for waiting.
They're saying I'm reaching. Is this reaching? Moore's House, I guess you're on the opposite side of this. Do you give any credence to the words of Max Kellerman?
Nah, I'd have to hear some source. I'd have to hear someone more like
Max
Bob.
is not a reputable source to you?
Bob Arum.
Why do we take Mark Kriegel's word for things, but not Max? Max interviews. Max has his own television show for boxing.
And but if Max would have came out, and said, yes, I talked to someone on Wilder's team, and he is getting step aside money. Now, according to the Fury side and Bob Arum, they're saying that contract expired. So it's not like he's in a mandatory position. Everything we've heard from Bob's side is the contract expired, and if that is the case, why would Wilder be entitled to any money whatsoever? So there has to be some more questions asked.
But mediation and arbitration is also to come to an agreement without having to go to court. I wouldn't be. It's not a far stretch to think they settled on something to get forward with the undisputed.
Listen, we've seen this before with Lennox Lewis and what was it? Rockman trying to get out the contract. Bro, you gotta pay. You know, I get it. No one wants Deontay Wilder to get some sort of consolation prize. It looks like they're like, oh, you lost, let Tyson move on. Well, he's got a contract, and it looks like he's getting paid. I'm taking Max's word for it. Max is in the business. Not only is he a commentator, but he's definitely some form of journalist. He does First Take, where he consistently talks boxing, and millions of people watch it. You know, he's on ESPN for some of their telecasts, and obviously he has Max on boxing. I think he's been a figure in the sport for quite some time now. To assume that he's only assuming
Right.
without any knowledge doesn't make sense.
Now, naturally, I assumed when I heard the fight was being happen, I assumed naturally like, oh, Wilder must be getting step aside money. Then, as you mentioned, Max Kellerman.
Why did you assume that though?
Because that's the nature of the game, right? You're on a contract. You just had a rubber match, right, or a draw and a lost, and a L, and then now all of a sudden that's not happening. One of the biggest fights in the heavyweight division to be made, but they want to go bigger and do AJ Fury versus things that happen that need to still be answered. Because Tyson Fury still had people, the public, a lot. Still have questions.
Definitely.
About the
Speaking
first
of
fight.
questions, we got some answers for some of these super chats. Rod in the 870 says, fight not happening without taking care of Deontay Wilder. 100 emoji. So he believes Wilder deserves and should get some sort of step aside money or compensation, as you would say. Do you agree with that? You think he deserves something, or you think that the two fights, the outcome is enough and Tyson should be able to walk away and do what he wants?
Well, then you scratch your head and say to yourself before even having a show, like, damn, where's Wilder at this equation if AJ versus Fury's happening?
I mean, not really, because a lot of people, including myself, I thought Fury's up 2-0 in the series. I kind of thought
that's an opinion. That's still an arguable first fight draw was still arguable.
Yeah, we had the rematch. The rematch wasn't even close.
We also got to remember, after the second Wilder Fury fight, and Fury was on his BS saying, nah, I'm going to fight Wilder a third time before any of all this stuff happened. And they kept asking him, hey, why don't you give him some step aside money so you can fight AJ? And Fury said, I wouldn't give him 10 grand. I just go in there and whoop him again.
Right. I remember that.
So
and
if
that
he's
was
not
to put the
whooping
exclamation mark on.
But if he's not whooping him again, it means he's paying him, fellas. It means Max is right. He said it. They said, yo, well, are you going to pay him? No, I'm not going to pay him. So how the hell are you fighting AJ all of a sudden? You got to pay some way. Or unless
Wilder wouldn't have went away too quietly after all this, you know what I mean, to just let it go without some kind of compensation. Yes, that's an assumption, but I'm going based off the history and the traits of everybody involved. There's got to be some kind of non-disclosure involved in this deal.
And Bob also mentioned that the mediation was over, but then he also stated right after that, yes, the mediation is over, but I can't stop someone for bringing a lawsuit against someone else.
Exactly.
So the way I look at it is,
there's an injunction, fellas. You ain't gonna get the fight.
I didn't hear you, Ness. I'm sorry.
I said there's probably gonna be an injunction, and he won't get the fight unless he pays.
Yeah, so I'm assuming that the mediation was over, and then Wilder filed his own lawsuit, a real lawsuit afterwards.
Right. And once the sheiks are involved.
But we never heard anything about that at all.
And that's why I think they came to some kind of settlement in mediation, because lawsuits are public knowledge, and somebody would have picked up on that wherever they would have filed that lawsuit at.
Of course. And where's this fight being allegedly taking place? Dubai?
Well, there's no date or venue.
Right, so it's really not official.
According to the Boxing Scene article I read yesterday, they have 28 days to agree on the venue and the date, or either guy can walk away from the deal.
Yeah, but why would they walk away from like a bank load of money?
Because they couldn't agree on a venue. So hypothetically, Enrique is big in Brooklyn, so you got the Barclays Center to offer 50 mil. I'm big in LA, and Staples offered 60 mil.
Right,
but you feel like, yo, let's take the shorter offer because New York City is the mecca of boxing. We get in the fight at the Barclay or hypothetically Madison Square Garden, and we can't come to an agreement.
Yo, I got another question real quick for the panel. If Wilder's team is saying that this fight couldn't have gone ahead and the contract should still be void, not null and void, but void because of the pandemic, then I would imagine Fury's team would come right back and say, there was fights before the end of the year, and there was fans before the end of the year.
Yeah, but not
the last time we heard the reason why the fight didn't happen in December was because of all the college and the championships, college football championships. So the networks didn't want it. So how can that be on Fury and Fury's team? Both networks carried college football.
And at the same time, but how can you punish Deontay Wilder for that?
Right. Yeah, you
Let me
can't
get to
punish
some of
someone
these
for
super
that.
chats. Keep them engaged. We got Brandon Maurice in Cincinnati says, big $10 super chat says, so the Honorable King Wilder, who wanted a third fight, won arbitration and decided to step aside instead of fighting for his belt? Sound like cap to me. I told y'all this, AM. This would be the new narrative. So, do you guys look at Wilder differently if this is true and he is accepting step-aside money? Because basically that's what Brandon is saying. Like, oh, he wanted that fight so bad. He said he wanted his fight, but now he's taking step-aside money and not taking his fight.
Well,
I don't, because, look, these guys, legal experts, probably know much more than we do. Bob and them obviously felt like they had enough to get out of the fight. That's why I say there had to be some kind of negotiation in this mediation that says, okay, look, how about this? We're going to pay you so much. You're going to, after, if we can get at least a 2-fight series done, hopefully we get, see, and that's the problem with the 2-fight series too. What if there's a draw, what if it's 1-1 after the second fight? But you pay Wilder, step aside, go build your name back. Let's get undisputed. I just don't think it's.
Remember the draw Tyson Fury and Wilder? There were fights in between the rematch.
Yes,
so is that possible? Yeah, is that possible? I think Tyson.
Well, remember that was a different situation because the draw nullified the contract.
Yeah,
it
nullified
made
the first contract.
Yeah, so if AJ gets a draw, did they announce that,
I believe it's a 2-way rematch clause.
2-way. I see it this way, man. The beans were spilled. The question was, is this the biggest combat sport fight in the making right now today? And Max Kellerman, who's so natural boxing instincts, was like, Stephen A. Smith was like, hell nah. And Max Kellerman was like, yeah, you're right. And then he swung back to the Tyson Fury AJ fight and saying, there's no way Wilder is just sitting there payless,
Super
and
chat.
that was naturally said.
Super chat. We got Rod in the 870 back with another one says, I'm asking for the winner next with a $15 million check. I guess that's sarcasm, meaning this is also bullshit.
That would be his deal request to step aside.
See, but that's what it goes back to. Coach Mitty brought up a point in the chat. What happens if it is 1-1 at the end of the second fight? Where does Wilder go from there?
Well, business makes the fight, right? So if those two fights generated hundreds of million, he's gonna get more step aside,
But at that point, is he obligated to step aside money anymore?
Hey, who's to say that Wilder didn't want the fight? Maybe PBC didn't want the fight because they were only going to be entitled to 40% of that next fight. Now, that fight with just pay-per-view buys brought in $48 million. Then you add the $17 million.
But what pay-per-views are you counting? Because remember, they did
1.2, cut it in half.
Okay. Because some people don't like to give them the 1.2, but they did 800,000 on cable, and then they did 400,000 digital.
Yeah, so if you get that 1.2, you cut that in half, you're left with 48. The second fight did $17 million gate. Mm-hmm. So throw that in. That's $65 million. 40% of that $65 million is
remember, you got to give half to the provider.
$26 million.
You got to give half to the provider. You got to give half to the provider, and you're not including, sponsorships, endorsements, all that great shit.
No, I did give half to the provider.
Okay.
1.2 divided by 2 leaves 600,000.
So, in the meantime, if this is accurate, what does Wilder do in the meantime? Does he maybe jump in those WBO rankings, since we know that title is supposed to be vacated after this fight?
Nah, WBA Charles Martin rankings. Charles Martin, WBA, they both got out the IBF. Rather, Martin decided to get out the IBF by not taking the eliminator with Hunter. So, they got the IBA pretty much locked up. Wilder's number 2 in the IBA, number 1 in the WBC. So, Martin's still number 1 in the IBF. But I think it's the WBA route, you know. Because
what is Ariola Ruiz fighting for? Anything?
Mexican Pride.
Oh, okay.
The Mayan belt. They're gonna make an Aztec belt or something. Watch.
There's no ranking on that. So I was thinking, damn, what if that 2 year
deal?
It's the
BMF belt, baddest motherfucking Mexican on the planet belt.
What if that 2 year, the 2-fight contract takes 2 years to happen, you know? Or even more than that.
It's slated for June and then December at this point.
Oh, it's all happening within 6 months.
Back to back, yeah.
And if one of them gets KO'd badly, does he come back? Like if Fury gets KO'd laid out, Marquez style.
That'd still give him enough time.
That's enough time.
3 months to recover, you know, then jump back in the gym.
Yeah, because you'd have the suspension by the commissions, obviously, and then.
What if it happens? Because all this is hypothetical entertainment, right? So what if it happens early? AJ defeats Fury. Do you really want to see a rematch? Domination. No answer. Fury lazy at home drinking Dublins.
And that's the big question: is like, do we have the option if it's already a 2-fight deal signed? You know, because you're right. What if it's 2 rounds, 3 rounds, and one guy just smokes out the other, no problems?
Well, what happened? Rockman and Lennox Lewis date, and Lennox came back. But Lennox was the A side at that time.
Let me get to this super chat from Rodden A70 says, what was the expiration date? What was the expiration date?
Yeah, like what, boy?
Nah, I think that might be White Boy. What was that?
Yeah, I think
White Boy. What was the expiration date?
Are you talking about Moore's house?
I have.
Did Morehouse say expiration date? Because I thought you said that.
It could be what? Because White would need 2 more letters, so maybe.
Yeah, he's talking about like what question expiration date? Like how's the contract?
Yeah, like
December
what?
December 31st.
I got it. So he's saying,
yeah, but why though? I don't understand the expiration date on a contract of a fight that needs to be assembled.
You can't lock me in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have fight deals.
Listen, no, you get 30 days to establish your rematch, that you're going to take the rematch, and then once that happens, they're saying, all right, this fight's got to happen by the end of the year.
I guess
big fighters only fight once or twice a year anyway, so that's how it probably happens.
And you got
Fury out the ring. You accepted your rematch clause. Now you got until the end of the year to fulfill that.
So your contract is not voided with the promotion. Your fight is voided with the fight period.
Yeah.
It's just a fight with the 2 names.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Tyson Fury didn't get a fight taken off his top rank deal. Mm-hmm. Tyson Fury still gotta honor his top rank deal.
Right. I got it. See, that's clarification because no one ever speaks on that.
So now, I mean, obviously we know Ruiz is probably getting set up to be the fall opponent for Wilder. What do we think Wilder does now? If since it does look like this fight's probably going to happen, what do we want Wilder to do in between before the Ruiz? Or does he just wait on Ruiz?
I believe where there's smoke, there's fire. So, like I said, he's doing Martin.
Charles Martin.
Screw that. I want to see him fight the winner of Povetkin.
Martin is a common opponent with AJ, and I guarantee you they go on the WBA route, man. So it's an angle, it's a play.
It's PBC.
And it's PBC, he right. And I wonder, does the public think of it like, because before we used to say, oh, Wilder will wash Prince up. I wonder if, and that's Martin. I wonder if, because that's his alias. I wonder if you still believe that.
I still think, yeah, Wilder beat a better, in my opinion, Luis Ortiz is a more skilled, more tools in the tool belt, southpaw.
I think what Cash Weezy is getting to, though, is a lot of times you have these fighters that once they take a loss like that, when you're that mystique, that boogeyman, sometimes these guys don't come back the same. And I think that's what we're all curious to see is the old Wilder.
I was wondering if that's how your curiosity is right now. Any of y'all.
Go ahead,
no matter what people say about Wilder, he's still the hardest puncher in the division. Right. And a straight right hand is an absolutely killer for a southpaw fighter. And that's what Martin is.
And for me, it's like
2 rounds.
Yeah, but what if Wilder twists his ankle though?
Let me
Your
get to
aunt
this
had
super
balls,
chat.
she'd
That's how
be your
Mark
uncle.
became champ, right?
Super chat. We got Andre Dakota says, listening to Eddie this morning on an IFL video, I don't believe it. I feel Wilder's still in the mix until I hear Grandpa Bob say we have a venue.
Yeah, and I always feel like that too. I feel like Wilder's still in the mix, and the only reason why that kind of drifted away from me is because it just said someone said it was official, the Wilder AJ contract.
So have y'all seen this article? I'm sorry, Cash, my bad.
Isn't that what's floating around? Like it's official.
What?
Signed deal. AJ Fury.
Well, there's an article on Boxing that says Frank Warren is actually not happy. He says that everybody signed an agreement that there would be no announcements unless there was a joint announcement, and then it came out of the blue yesterday. So
Yeah,
he's
but
saying Eddie jumped the
Eddie
gun.
said that he talked to Fury's team, which
Oh, so
ain't
now I
Frank
don't-
Warren. He's probably talked to MTK, and they said, all right, if you want to come out and say that the fight was signed, go ahead.
I don't believe
big announcement's going to happen when they're all together.
This
And
is a
Eddie
quote
did
from
say
Frank-
that they're going to
from
do a
Frank
world
Warren.
tour as well.
I mean, that's hype, right? Well, I don't believe it's happening now, and hence why Max Kellerman said, "Yo, Wilder had to be getting $5-10 million."
Let me read you this quote directly from Frank Warren, who is the co-promoter of Tyson Fury, who says, I believe the fight will happen when they get in the ring. We still got a long way to go, but as of now, everybody's on the same page to work.
That's like I believe you're gonna get married when I see the priest say, "Yo, y'all may kiss the bride." You know what I'm saying? So that's my time, fellas. I'll see y'all tonight. TBV_casual fan on Twitter and YouTube.
All right.
Cash
all right.
week.
Let's
Peace.
go out to these phone calls, see what the people got to say, what they think about the new audio from Max on First Take this morning. Let me.
And before he does that, man, y'all smash that like button.
Yes,
Download
sir.
the BPN network. They just had Border Wars this past Saturday.
BPE.
Shout out to all my friends out there that competed, all the brothers. I heard this is the best event yet. Y'all don't want to miss that, man.
Border Wars, June 12th, Wisconsin, Watertown is going down. And I just heard that maybe we're going to have a fight with one of the Texas boys, man. Vega said he might be coming back.
Yeah, I've actually spoke to another. They have a common opponent. We've been talking to that. Hopefully I can get these negotiations worked out, get a date, get you information for myself as well. But either way, Supermax will be in the building, helping the fellas get this hard work done. Border Wars 11 is going to be huge.
Huge.
Outdoor venue, right, Ness?
Yes. Outdoor,
Yeah.
indoor holds up to 400 to 500 people. It will be, we got a bar, there'll be live DJ, there'll be lasers, smoke, all that, ring walks, all the greatness. This is what we've been waiting for. We get to put it on in front of people, hundreds of people, and it'll be streamed live. So you already know. Listen, let's go to the callers real quick. Let's see what we got.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on iTunes.
Subscribe to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
All right, Brandon, Cincinnati, what up?
Hey, whole nother time zone. Jumped up back with our mind on. Can't play when you here, get your life stole. If you bring it here, then the price grow. Phone jabbing and punching the line long. I drop a pitch and let 9 go. We slap with the fake glass and white go. This only happens in Ohio.
Yo, what's going on? Can y'all hear me?
Uh-huh.
What's happening?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. It's like I said this morning, man. I know what Wilder fanboys do. I said once this fight gets made, the new narrative is that he's got crazy money to step aside. And what happens? Ness comes right back with a show proving my point. I told you, he's getting $78 million in commemoration to his biggest man fan. He's getting $78 million, and hopefully that'll make Wilder man fans feel better about him not getting the trilogy. So let's run with that. If it makes you feel better, he got $78 million to step aside. He's got a small island in Jamaica to step aside. Bottom line is, AJ
Now,
and
Brandon,
Fury
hold
was
on, because
fighting,
I've been, you know me, I pushed for this. I wanted the undisputed. I felt like we've got our answers, but you don't think just on a legality standpoint, they made some kind of negotiation agreement.
Let me ask you a question. So you said he won arbitration, and instead of fighting for the belt that he was crying about, saying he wanted this trilogy, he decided to step aside.
Instead of taking it, dragging it out, keeping everybody out the ring, if maybe they met in the middle and said, "Hey, look, let's pay you this, let us move on, and we'll catch back up down the line."
Absolutely not, man. But if you want to run with that to make you feel better about Wilder getting finessed, go right ahead. I said he got $78 million. I understand, man, but let's roll with it.
Wilder's ego is too big for that. Wilder would rather fight.
No. He's got step aside money, man. Let's just run with that, man. And to make the Wilder fans feel better.
Cut it.
Just like the king is what I mean. The king is what I mean.
Hey, yo. Y'all hear me?
Yep.
All right, so look. So what we're talking about is the response to adversity and accountability versus marketing. I'm about to get deep with y'all, but on some bullshit. Like, look, Wilder, at the end of the day, anybody would understand if you say, yeah, you know what? This fight was a challenge, boom, 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 but, you know, I would definitely take the rematch because I want to get that revenge, but I'm open to doing anything because at the end of the day, I'm a fighter. Anybody could scribble that shit down 3 lines. It's still money involved on the table. Like I said, I think it's hard to digest when you screaming and hollering, but you was wrong, then fight, and then you still not fighting on. So, you know, whatever it is, like, it's no shame in it, but, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I know many cats that is good dudes that took a lump. Take your lump, stand the fuck up. I don't care whether you took the bag or not. But get in there. If Charles Martin is whatever, put him down. If it's Ruiz, put him down. You know what I'm saying? But the fact is, like, you know what I'm saying? You just got to
Cut it.
Super chat from Rod in the A70 that says, Deontay Wilder in the mix? He still has a contract. What the fuck? Laughing out loud. Shh emoji.
Yeah, no, I think we're past that contract at this point.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I think whatever happened with that contract has been settled already, regardless.
I mean, but if it's been settled, that means, you know, like if he's getting step aside, that means there was a contract and it was valid, right?
But that's what I'm saying. He is from what I understood, the super chat says that the contract is still there. At this point, it's if it was settled, then yeah, the contract is done with. Though they've settled that.
All right, but that contract that people laughed at obviously is what got him paid.
No, and I agree, but that's what I'm saying but from what I understand with the way you read that was he felt the contract is still, he can still uphold it for that trilogy fight.
I mean, I don't know about the trilogy fight. He definitely using it to get that step aside because he's old.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because he's owed the trilogy fight, but we going out to probably riding the A70 with a new number. What up?
Hey, what up? You already know. After I heard my boy Brandon call, and Brandon, what's up, man? It's a long time I hadn't spoken to you, but it's good to hear your voice again, man. But me and Brandon always had our battles about Wilder and AJ and all that shit. I'll say this. Brandon, you already know that if there's a contract in place, one or two things gonna happen. Either he gonna get the fight or he's gonna get paid off. So those are the two options. So if AJ and Fury actually have a signed contract and actually are going to fight, then we know Wilder got paid off. So it does validate the Wilder fans because the narrative was the contract had expired. Wilder was not going to get anything. He got screwed over. That was the narrative. Now that he's actually getting paid and the contract was actually valid, now is, oh, y'all happy he got paid. No, we're not happy he got paid. As Wilder fans, we want to see him fight. But Tyson Fury, the one ran away from the fight. So why should Wilder continue to chase? Let them fight if they're going to fight. Get them next, and then do your thing. Come back strong. You got your ass beat. Come back strong.
Cut it.
All right. We're going to James Payne Lethal. No James Payne Lethal today. Just listening. We're going out to New Orleans' own JT. Are you available?
Yeah, I'm ready. You come across like a nice guy, but you're really a piece of shit. Hey, you think come on. No, that was a piece of fuck you. That was a piece of shit. You know, we're doing live TV. Man, I don't care. What you gonna do about it?
I'll kill this mother. Why do you have to talk like that? Well, I'm talking to you the way I want to talk to you. You have a problem? Turn off your station. I'm the best ever.
Yo, what up?
What up?
I don't know how true is that Wilder getting paid $78 million just to sit on the side.
Nah, not 78. That he was he was saying that number specifically taking shots.
Oh, okay. Well, if that was realistic, that price, I thought I heard that. Yeah, I'll sit on the side for that. Yeah, as fans, but if I'm the fighter, maybe I'll sit on the side and settle for that. If it's a contract, and you know what, even if it's not a contract, I'll take $70 million just to sit on the side and watch two people fight.
Well, check it out, JT. Max Kellerman is speculating that it's 5 to 10 million range.
No, I think Wilder worth more than that, a $5 to $10 million just to sit on the side. But fuck, let's look at it. I mean, you getting paid that type.
Sit on the side to do nothing and wait. You know what I mean? Like that, yo, shit.
Ness, listen to what I'm saying though. To us, to 5 and 10 million, yeah, we'll sit on the side. Cause I'm not saying nobody ain't no millionaires on that. That's a lot of money. But Wilder made that type of money, so I'm thinking he'll probably want more just to sit on the side due to his name. And I feel like he is worth more to sit on the side due to his name. So, I mean, you can look at it both ways. He gonna get paid.
Nah, man. I mean, I hear you. Everybody's entitled to their opinion, but I feel like if you got paid $25 million for the fight and they giving you 10 to sit, man, you.
And it's not necessary to sit. It's to 10 to not take that fight. Then you can still make your own fight.
Word.
And make up whatever money you got on that end.
Sheesh. I wonder if you got to pay taxes on that 10.
It's America, bro. They getting all that.
Keem in Florida.
Wait a minute. You say you know boxing? Yeah. What is it? Maybe I don't know. Tell me what a pool counter is. Pool counter? I've never heard that term before. That must be your term. You must have been busy.
No, Fair Shake, HBO needs to fire you. You don't know shit about boxing. You ain't shit.
Hey, I'm just listening, bro.
Shout out to you, though, King, man. Hope you have fun, bro.
BoxingVoice.com.
Hey, Daddy.
Boxing thinking man's game.
This a dollar bill.
Skill. Up here. You gotta be out think a motherfucker. That's what BoxingVoice.com.
BBV was happening, man.
What up?
Man, everything coach on the road headed to Detroit. But shout out to King. He said some trill shit earlier on the first show, man. I done got to the point, bro. I ain't listening to no boxers. I ain't listening to no promoters. Whenever the fight gets signed and they say they going to fight, then I'm gonna start rocking out. But shout out to y'all for giving up all the content. Shout out to Bo and Bama. Shout out to my boy. Y'all keep it 100, man. I'm out to. Oh yeah, by the way, do Bud got Josecito for the show, or is that what they trying to give?
What you mean, Josecito?
Oh yeah, go do your research, man. I'll talk to you later.
Man, that shit ain't worth researching if he fighting Josecito. Get out of here, man. What? Y'all see, this is what I'm saying. If y'all accept that shit, then
he was a little excited for that at the end of his call. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't get it though. But then they'll shit on Thurman and say, "Oh, Thurman ain't worth this," and Thurman. How the fuck do you justify Josecito? Like, come on, man. Oh, you know what they're gonna say? Oh, he gave Thurman one tough round. You guys chill, man. I hope that ain't true, man. I seen Virgil Ortiz talking about if they offered him the fight, he would take it. You know, and even that ain't great because
I mean, he was talking crazy to Porter on Twitter. What happened to that?
Man, I don't know. This crazy, man.
Mikey Garcia said Josecito is lined up for a big fight, so I hope. I hope it ain't true.
Oh my God!
He's in that gym working.
They better not, man. I swear they better not.
Yeah, you
They
know how
better
Bob
not.
don't like paying nobody. They could get Jose Cito on the cheap.
For like $130. He giving that shit up for $130K easy. Let's go. Yo, that's crazy, man.
95.5. 95.5 percentage
Nah,
of the
there ain't
deal.
no way that's happening, man. There ain't no way that's happening. LV Slugger, man, what up, man? I rebuke that in the name of Jesus, man. We don't want that fight.
Me too.
BBV, what up? What up? What up?
What up?
Yeah, I rebuke that shit too, man. I'm a Bud fan.
For real, man. They tripping.
Yeah,
Bob
no,
is
man.
mean if he do that, man. He mean.
Ain't this supposed to be his last fight on top rank though? Like before
I guess.
that's probably that's the only reason why I can see why they get that fight. But on the topic, man, I'm just ready to see my boy back in the ring, man. With this, what he got to do in order to see him back in the ring. I'm just ready to see him. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy how he got finesse, but we sitting up here talking about him getting step aside money for sitting on his ass. So I mean, if that's considered finesse, I mean, I'll take that. You give me 5-10 mil to sit on my ass. Shit, I take that every day. But
Brandon
as a
said
fan,
he got
though,
finesse? You said Brandon said he got finessed?
yeah, I got finesse for out the contract, but he about to get paid 5 to 10 M's for sitting on his ass. So I don't see how that's finesse. I mean, we can see. We'll see. But yeah, I'm just ready to see these boys back in the ring. Hopefully this shit real. They unsigned the contract. It sounds sweet. But we'll see. What they say they got 28 days. We'll see how it rock out. But yeah, I'm ready to see my boy, man. Hopefully he get back in the ring sometime this summer. But yeah, that's my call.
All right.
Because, look, Deontay Wilder has to be getting paid to step aside. And when you get step aside money, when you're next with a contract, it ain't $100,000. It's $5-10 million. So Deontay's getting money just for waiting.
We going out to Majid. What up?
Yo, this GT Kid, man.
Oh shit, GT Kid in Atlanta. What up? Why? Yo, I'm
What's going
dyslexic for real. I thought that 404 said 407.
No worries, man. Hey, look, real quick. I don't think Wilder's getting step aside money, right? I think the contract really is expired. But I think if he was to sue, right, and claiming that the contract wasn't expired, like Eddie Hearn or Top Rank couldn't make any fights with Fury at all. Just because the litigation is out there, it doesn't matter how valid it is or not. As long as it's pending out there, nobody's going to do any business with them regarding Fury because they don't want to get caught up in that litigation if they happen to lose. So I think they've paid Wilder some money not to file a lawsuit. That's what I really think is happening. But I don't think there's any validity to him getting step-aside money. I don't think Wilder wanted that rematch. I think the contract really did expire. And I'm hoping we see Undisputed later on this year.
All right. Well,
I mean, he makes sense in a sense, Ness, because that is true. Because if you have a lawsuit going, that means there's going to be anytime Fury tries to fight, there'll be an injunction. They can't let him fight. So that's also very possible. They just said, let's pay him so we can move on. But it's just hard to see Wilder saying, okay, pay me and I'll leave it alone. You know what I mean? That without some kind of other guarantee, without some kind of... You get what I'm saying? He's got to have been promised something, the winner, a third fight, something with one of these guys.
Well...
And I lean more toward he was promised by Fury rather than AJ because we all know AJ never really seemed too interested in that Wilder fight, in my opinion.
I'm with you on that, without a doubt. Well, we were just reporting on Max Kellerman and his new news. That being said, we are out. Catch us on the next one. That's GTO, Instagram, and Twitter. Peace.
Everybody out there, go ahead.
Okay, you can catch me at big_Supermax on IG. Supermax_56, actually. The big is gone. We're down. We're trying to lose this weight. Real quick, let me shout out my boy Dollar DiBiase if you want an intro. He's got these new shirts. I just bought a onesie for my kids. Got the WBC Mayan belt on there. Great products. Look him up, TBV Dollar DiBiase on Facebook. Order from him. Peace out.
Hey, everybody out there in the TBV fam. Like always, I hope everybody is doing well. And if you get some time, make sure you come check me out at Moore's House. Like, subscribe, and share. Get my channel popping because, like everybody here, I love the sport of boxing and I love talking the sport of boxing. Peace.
Peace.